for those. I actually meant this to be only to start on tomorrow, and then when I gave out the list, or the what do you say, the Zoom link, I realized, but the Zoom link is for tonight. So I said, well, let's do a quick intro tonight. Let's get down to business and let's fire away. All right, so welcome. We are in a very interesting time of our lives. We're living in interesting times. And at some stage or another, you and I have also experienced losses and gains in our lives. And the losses might have made some emotional marks on us, and the gains might have made a different kind of a mark on us. But the fact that you're here is that you want to be part of learning to make a success of something that's a very dark and sinister world. When we're talking about trading, it's a very hard world to be in if you don't know what you're doing. And I've met so many people, they were told by a family member that they needed to start trading and they needed to get going, and went and bought in on the peak of all the markets, on the peak. And lots of people are still asking me, where are we now? Are we at the bottom? Are we at the top? Or must we just get in? So let's quickly go through the information that we're going to share tonight and what we're going to discuss. We want to start everybody off with a good foundation. And what I mean about foundation is that I have some of my traders, yes, that still don't even use Google Authenticator. They still don't even, they were in 3 or 4 of my trading levels. They don't even know what that is. What is that? And I said to a trader the other day, I said, when you were listening in the class, you never took notes once. And because you didn't take notes from the start, you had a rough foundation. But somehow he did something right. And he just held on. So we want to let you get your roots down deep, and understanding that winning and losing is part of life, but can I win more than I lose? We are going to have 18 sessions in total. We will have each session 40 minutes over, and the 40 minutes expires when the 40-minute Zoom session, whether I'm still talking or whether you're talking or listening, when the 40 minutes is over, it's over. Every one of these sessions are absolutely free. There will be an offerings as we go for paid trading courses for those people that want the courses to do them in their own time, at their own pace. We will offer you very discounted bonus courses. We will be using a South African exchange, and it is the South African exchange that I trust the most. And everybody that's not signed up with the South African exchange, I would ask you to use the sign up link that I have. If you use the sign up link, I can see that you've signed up, and I will give you free support on using anytime you have problems with KYC or problems with the exchange. I know that you have signed up. I will be in touch with the exchange and help them solve the problem. There's obviously different levels of trading education. So lots of people start out trading and they jump in, and they might be lucky to be in a bull market where they win, and then they feel they don't need much education because they think that everything continues to go up. we want to give you from the very foundation through level 1 to level 6 trading education, so that I know some of my traders, they did level 1, they never went further. And they didn't even take their trading much further because they got sidetracked or they started losing, because we can't even in 6 months you might be able to grasp like the very fundamentals and make some money. And you might, after the first 2 or 3 weeks, start realizing how you can make money, and you can actually start making money in your first 2 to 3 weeks, provided that you follow the basics. We're going to try and make it as fun as possible, because fun is what everything that you do in life. Why not just enjoy it? Enjoy doing it. We have been trading for 12 years. We started our business bit by bit in December 2015. By that time, we were teaching people how to trade cryptocurrencies. And we use simple terms, simple language. We're not using all these fancy scientific language. I've got a book, a Wall Street dictionary that teaches you all the words and what they mean. So, and that dictionary is as thick as the English dictionary. And I'm not talking about mentally, I'm talking about in physical thickness. And we're going to only teach you spot trading. Now, spot trading, what does spot trading mean? It means if you buy something for 100 Rand, the price goes up to 110 Rand, and you take profits, you make 10% or 10 Rand profit. That's spot trading. I have not done any leverage trading, margin trading. I have not taught any of the traders anything, and it doesn't make any sense to me, because even though I'm in a sense, because you're a trader, you're almost seen as a gambler. I'm not that kind of gambler that wants to go. And I can explain to any one of you why you shouldn't use margin trading, especially as a beginner. Once you learn to do spot trading, you can do any real world buying and selling. There's a book called The Greatest Salesman in the World, and another book called The Richest Man in Babylon. If you do learn spot trading, you'll understand what those books mean. You'll be able to learn how to buy and sell in the real world, and then nothing is complicated. The real world has become so complicated. Even a few years ago, I don't know how many of you remember, the oil price went to minus 63 or minus $67. How's it possible that it can go to minus anything? And that is where the world went. Leverage margin trading has bankrupted people with big amounts of money. Today they put millions in, tomorrow they got nothing. We're going to avoid all of that, because you can virtually not lose in this world of trading if you trade for 6 months. So we're going to use 3 to 4. We're going to teach you 3 to 4 strategies, because everybody's got a strategy when they start learning to trade. And unfortunately, people don't all use one strategy. You can use 2 or 3 strategies, but then you must be very disciplined. What is your strategy? Are you in for making profits on a daily basis? If you're making profits on a daily basis, you will need anything from 30 minutes to 2 hours a day in the markets. If you've got a medium-term trading strategy, you're going to be logging in once, maybe twice a week. Then you're looking at a 3 to 6 month strategy. But if you've got a long-term strategy, all you're going to be doing is watching the market cycles, watching the cycles of the year, the solstices, the season changes, the equinoxes, and then trading according to those changes in the markets. So that is, you're going to sit down and say, okay, you know what? Maybe some days I have 2 hours or an hour. Maybe those are the days I'm doing a short-term strategy. I want to make money in the next 24 hours. I want to make money this week. I want to make 1 to 3% a day, and I need that amount of time to trade. But if you're looking at 3% per month, there's a different strategy. If you're looking 3 to 5% a month, you've got a different strategy. But if you're looking long-term strategy, you can make 50% to 100% in a year. That's depending on the time you've got available and what your appetite for trading is. Remember, trading is not something for everybody. I have learned in the last 6 months until 2 months ago that I didn't spend much trading at all because I was busy. I like the world outside. I like to breathe fresh air. I like to physically work and do things. But there are times that I have time and that I'm not that busy and I can jump in the market and trade. So we're going to use a South African exchange, as I explained to you. I trust the exchange because I know the people. The exchange actually opened a WhatsApp group with me to help my traders with all their issues and problems. And they have contact numbers. One of the most known exchanges, and I think some of you have used the exchange, starts with the L. They don't even have a contact telephone number. They don't even have an address. We actually know where they are situated, but we don't even know which office, which floor they are in. So these guys have an address, and then according to the normal South African law, you will have to upload a proof, your ID and your proof of address. That's just normal for any exchange doesn't matter which exchange you're using, locally, internationally, you're going to have to do this. So if there are any questions so far, you can welcome to type the question in the box at the bottom. As I go, I will then answer the questions. And let me go to the exchange and then let's go off this. All right, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you the exchange that we are currently using. As I said to you, if you haven't signed up with my link, please ask me for my link. I can send it to you and then you can sign up. I'm going to just basically go refresh the page. The site is called Altcoin Trader. Very, very basic site. It has got lots of functions in, but not like international sites like Binance and Bybit and all of those. This is an easy way to get yourself involved in trading. You will then also need to go and fill in all your details, telephone number and all of that. And the reason why they are strict with telephone numbers and Google authenticators and that is that people's accounts get hacked. People have lost a lot of money because they are too lazy to do 5 or 10 minutes of authentication work. And then when their funds get taken away by them, apprehended by someone else, then they get upset because their money is gone. We always want to start with the basics. The basics is, how do we get started with this? You can deposit 3 different kind of entities or monetary assets into your account, generally people start with South African rands. And there's two ways to do it. You can use it through a bank deposit, or you can use Capitec Pay. Now, interesting enough, Capitec does not allow you to pay money straight to Altcoin Trader, but you can use the Capitec Pay app to send money to them. So that is awesome that you can do that. So when you say bank deposits, you will then have a reference number. They will give you the bank details. You will have a reference number, and you will be able to deposit money into that account. Now, their banking is Standard Bank. So those of you who got Standard Bank, when it's Standard Bank, it will show within half an hour to an hour. When you're using other banks, depends on whether you do pay and clear or that depends on the bank. But if you're using Capitec Pay, the moment you've paid using this function, it shows immediately as a balance in your account at the top there. So you can then start using those funds right away. And that's awesome, because the technology that cryptocurrency has brought into the world is speeding up the rest of the world's technology. Remember, banking technology is outdated. We think banks are great. Banks are seen the last of their days. With the future, if banks don't go into crypto and have deposits by Bitcoin and by Ethereum, they are gone. They are history. So if we don't understand crypto, look, if you're 80 or 90 or 120 years old, it's okay. I excuse you. You don't have to learn this. But every one of us need to learn how the system works. This system, let me give you an example. When you pay money from Capitec to Standard Bank, or from Nedbank to Absa, and you don't do a pay and clear, then it only shows tomorrow or the next day. Folks, that's outdated. The internet is much, much slower, much faster in our world, in the crypto world, than that world. So cryptocurrency makes the whole world virtually instantaneous. So if you've got money on Binance, which is the Cayman Islands where the funds are stored, and you do a withdrawal to your altcoin trader, within a few minutes, your funds show. But if you had to do a transfer from any overseas account to your South African bank account, it will take 5 to 7 working days. So the world of cryptocurrency enables all transactions to go a lot faster. And by the way, for those who don't know, that Standard Bank use XRP to transfer funds across the world. They've been using it for quite a few years. In fact, most banks are using some crypto to transfer funds at the moment, because the SWIFT system is so slow. The banking system is very slow. So just to recap, you can deposit money from your bank account to their Standard Bank account, and then once it shows in the bank account, you can use that to trade with, or you can use Capitec. You can use all of these cryptocurrencies if you've got a different account wallet, and you can deposit any of these cryptocurrencies into your altcoin wallet. But we will go into a little bit more detail about that later, because some of these cryptocurrencies have various kind of wallets, so they're not straightforward. Gold and silver. This is a very exciting development, and it's actually gone to the next level. If you've got gold Krugerrands or silver Krugerrands, or doesn't matter if it's Krugerrands, you get silver coins that are the maple or the Canadian maple, and you got the American eagle. Those are all 1 ounce coins. So you can go and deposit these coins into your own account onto Altcoin Trader, and you can sell them there or trade with them. Gold coins the same. So there's 2 ways. You will use their email address to start the process. You can either send it to them or go and physically deposit these coins at this coin shop. Now, why do it this way rather than go and sell it straight to the coin shop? Because if you go and buy silver at the current price, you're going to pay a lot higher, at least 15 to 20% higher than the market price. So gold and silver is a way of transacting. So a lot of people bought silver. If you go and take a silver coin to the coin shop now, they're going to pay you for or to the jeweler, they're going to pay you 10 or 12 rand per gram. In other words, it will be 31 times 10 or 12 rand. So they're going to give you like 310, 360 rand for your coin. The price of silver now on Altcoin Trader, watch here, is 860 rand, between 850 and 920 rand. So here's a better platform to buy and sell coins. And let's say you decide to trade up and down, which I'm going to teach you. Then the benefit of that is, let's say you start with 1 silver coin, but after trading up and down, you're sitting with 3 silver coins. You can then withdraw those silver coins and go and fetch them or pay a courier to deliver them to your house. I think I'm talking a lot very fast, and for those who are new, you must tell me I must slow down if you think I must slow down. But this is an amazing opportunity, because like Robert Kiyosaki said, should the world go into a major depression, and the world is already in depression. We haven't really. The only country that hardly ever experiences depression is Australia. Strangely enough, they don't experience much of that. But the world has gone into depression. And that's what, when there's depression, there's more wars and more rumors of wars. And all of us traders, or going to be traders, need to learn how to capitalize on war. Yeah, that's a weird statement coming from me. Now, doesn't matter what your religious background is, one thing you need to realize is, how can I take advantage of bad times also? How can I capitalize on market situations in bad times? Somebody asked me the other day, what do you think is a good thing if I had a few thousand rand now and I wanted to work with that money all the time? I said, well, in the next few months' time, you might want to have canned food. If there's a depression, tinned food would be a great thing, because it lasts for long. And if you get it cheap, you can, that can last, and you can live in a bunker with that kind of thing. So we all need to learn what is there that we can trade today, because like some people, they will tell you XRP, Ripple is the thing to trade. Now, I'm going to take Ripple's graph, for instance, and just give you an example. If you take a graph like this, where the price has started way down at 2-3 rand, and it's gone all the way to 64 rand. If you just kept Ripple over the last 5-6 years, 8 years, you would have made a good amount of money. But Ripple might not be the best thing to buy right now, because the price is so high. It's like if you go and look at the shops, one of the things that has shot the highest in price is coffee. You don't want to buy coffee to resell it unless you're buying it at 50% lower than the market price, because coffee's price is already so high. You want to buy something that there will be just a sudden rumor in the market and then everything goes up. So if I'm looking at anything to buy right now, I would rather look at Shiba, because Shiba, I'm going to show you what I'm doing shortly. Shiba's price is almost down at the bottom where it virtually started. And the price there at 151,400 versus 22,000, if you had to take just a measuring tool to back there. That's not even the highest. Let's take the previous high. 6 times your money if you buy it now and it goes to the previous high. But you couldn't do that with Ripple, because Ripple XRP is already at its highest point. So I'm going to teach you how to take advantage of the markets, but first look back at the history. So history is very important for those who study the world and the economics. History is very important when you're studying coins to trade. And especially, let's say, for instance, when you got Bitcoin. You want to look at Bitcoin. Should you buy Bitcoin? Now, the question is, you make that decision. You see where Bitcoin has come from and where it is now. It's not a good time to buy Bitcoin, but I'll show you how to make lots of Bitcoin, more Bitcoin, by trading other cryptocurrencies. Right, let's go to the chat box. Okay, nobody, no further questions. All right, so we are going to, over the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at each and every aspect of this trading. And we've got just less than 10 minutes left. So if you want to ask a question, no problem, ask the question. We're going to focus our attention on getting you through the very basics by getting you to, and a lot of people often have, through the trading, missed the foundation fundamentals, missed the fact that we use the Bollinger Bands, for instance, on our graphs. Now, every time I refresh the screen, like I push the refresh button, it will throw all my settings off, and then I need to start over again. That's the unfortunate part of this trading. But just for those who haven't used these tools or haven't used them much in the past, these are the tools that help us to guide us to see where the price might be going in the next while, in the next few days. And this helps us plan our charts, our days better. But as you can see, each one of these time frames depends on our strategy. So if I'm a medium term trader, I'll use the 1 day graph. But if I'm a long-term trader, I will use the monthly graph. And there I will be able to see how the markets are doing and see, oops, now this is going very high. Look how steep this graph is. It might not be a good idea to get into a trade and expect to make money going up. I would rather expect it to be going down. And here's some logic. I'm going to make some predictions now, which might sound absurd. You can't really make predictions, but we know that September is bargain month, and we want to see the markets drop in September. So if you're going to just buy to sell higher, you are probably going to make a few mistakes, and then you're going to say, "Oh, trading is not for me. This guy that teaches me how to trade, he's not really, he's not really with it because I'm losing money now." But you listened to what you wanted to listen to. And sometimes people will sit in the call like this, and they might not even be sitting in front of the screen because I've heard this before, so I'm not going to listen to too much of this. And then they end up losing money. So at the end of the day, I want all of you to make money. I've probably made a dozen millionaires in my time through trading, through guys that have learned how the markets work and they've run with money. I had a guy who started with 12,000 rand, and in a few months' time, he had made his portfolio was sitting on 120,000 rand, and he said, I'd also drawn quite a bit of money because I needed it for my family. So he was busy growing his portfolio rapidly from a very small amount to a great amount. And one of the traders that I'm currently assisting, he started his portfolio in 2019, end of 2019, when the markets had recovered. He put 10% of all his money that he did with his work into his trading platform. And he just left. He didn't even trade it. He just left the money, and he started. That time he showed me his portfolio was on 100,000. A few years later, now he's sitting on 500,000. And I said to him, if you start trading now, by the end of the year, you'd be close on 1 million. So everybody can make good money, but you need to be disciplined. So, all right, I'm going to leave the floor open for any questions. I think we have got a lot in for the first session, and we will probably, so Tuesdays and Thursday nights, we will do 40-minute sessions for the next few weeks. If there is any problems or times that I have to skip, I will let you folks know. I would like everybody, maybe we can just add you all onto our traders education group, which has come a long way, I think 2015 or 2016 when we started it. We can just add you onto that group so that you can get all the updates. All right, folks. Hope you all have a great evening, and we will chat tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Have a great evening and good night.